presentation, Hans, for make some salt shakers and blow salt over the floor. So,
Yep.
Gavel, hold on. Gavel for the cameras. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Take it easy on me, guys. I've done 300 and some presentations on scroll saw. This will only be my second presentation on the lathe. I was asked on Saturday, I was sent a text by Troy that I was doing something today. And I didn't know I was doing something. And whatever I was doing for the scroll saw, I'm saying, okay, fine. So I called Troy back. I said, if I did some on the lathe, would that be okay? And he said, that would be great. So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do, and I brought way too many tools and whatever, but can you catch? Or you can't? I'm going to go that way. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to throw it too high and hit you in the face. Okay.
Can't anybody catch?
What I'm using, I didn't want to hit him with one hand. I'm sorry. With one good hand. What I'm making out of are 9 pen blanks. I'm taking 9 pen blanks and gluing them together. Now, you say, well, that's a pain. Well, in actuality, it's really not. If you think about it, I'm going to pretend this is a piece of wax paper. Okay, so I took my pen blanks and put them on the wax paper and glued them like that. Okay, what's going to happen when I glue them? The bottom side of that's going to be flat, correct?
Hopefully.
No, it's on what I'm saying, it's on this table, so yeah, I don't care if it's bumpy on this side, okay? Then I take 3 more and I do the same to them. Okay, so now I got a flat here and a flat there. Okay, then I take 3 more, okay, and I glue them. I glue them in 3s. Okay, then I decide which one has the least amount to sand off. Then I just take it to the belt sander and I go, this side's flat already, so I flatten this side. And remember, the bottom of this is flat and the bottom of this is flat, so then I put them together and that's what creates my blank. So what it does is it gives you some very unusual effects. Here's what we're going to do today. And the part I like about these I'm in the wrong spot, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Is you can use anything. You can make them any size. You can make them any shape. And unlike her pens, you don't have to buy anything because it's 2 pieces of wood. Okay? What I'm basically making is a hollow vessel. Okay, and I'll show you a couple ways to do that. And then, this will probably be the best one to use. I'm making a table for the inside. So therefore, 2 things in the south. Number 1, the salt will never get moist because moisture can't get to it. But did you see it come out? Yeah. What you've got is the inside is geometric because it's rounded dome, okay? And then I make a table on the inside, and as you saw, there's a hole in the bottom, and that's how you fill it. And this is more like a funnel here, so it just salt goes in, and it won't come out unless I go up. Physics hits the dome. When it hits the dome, it falls on the table I've built inside of it and comes out the hole in the bottom. But you can make it, yes sir.
Are you squeezing it to make it come out?
Negative, they're wood.
You should squeeze some
It's
pieces.
solid wood.
No, what makes it come out?
Like I said,
There's a dome on top.
Oh,
that
okay,
goes
got it,
goes
got it,
down on
got it.
what's happening is salt is in here, and then Yeah, I think you got to do it over the right shoulder or whatever. Good luck or whatever. What happens is when I go up like that, the salt goes up to the dome, stops, gravity feeds and comes straight down and hits on the table I've created, and then it goes through the hole. So we're going to do all the pieces, but I figured I'd show you that. And there's going to be a lot of ways to do them, and I've found different ways to do them, but we'll go. First, we're going to start between centers. So I've got a 9-pin blank one here, and I'm going to start between centers. And what am I going to do? I'm going to round it.
Make it round?
But in actuality, I really wouldn't have to. Yes, sir.
Using pin blanks for that's a specific size, or does that matter? Can you use?
Both those are pin blanks.
All right.
So I use different ones.
But you can make it any size you want.
You can make it any size you want. I mean, you could make them this big. Once you see the presentation, you can make it this big if you want it. But yeah, but I started doing this. I went to a class and we made vases out of pen blanks, and it just gives it. See, this is pen blanks, and of course this is Spectraply. Okay, let me get safety, I guess. Get my safety things on. I used to think when I was a turner that when you used a roughing gouge for a small item, you used a small roughing gouge. You know, I just assumed, you know, if you're roughing a pen blank, use a small gouge. Well, I've learned now that the bigger the gouge is, the better it works, and the easier it is, and the lighter the cuts you can make, no matter what the size of the thing you're trying to round. You know, if I was trying to round a big lamp base or something, that's what I thought I used this for, and I thought I used this for pens or smaller stuff. But if you use a big one, it's just easier. It makes it do so much easier. But so I found that out. Let me see if I can get this close now. You always want to make sure you're not running into your tool rest. Seems to work okay. So all I'm going to do is put this on the tool rest and touch the wood. Because in my case, I'm using a drive center that goes in the chuck. That's my favorite drive center. Now, when I was new to lathe, I always wondered why somebody did this. They're doing that. I'm doing it now. It's kind of ironic, I know it, but what you're doing is you can tell that it's not round yet. If it was round, the tool wouldn't be bouncing. But the bigger, I'm going to want to go over there all the time because that's where my on-off is. Okay, got to get the tool rest closer if I can. Closer it is, the better. Want to go over there. Now, like I said, I wouldn't even have to, if I wanted to make a square salt shaker, I can make a square salt shaker. I wouldn't have to turn it. But since we're doing a lathe presentation, I figured I'd better turn it. See, it's not as bad. But when I first came and people were doing that, I'm saying, why are you putting your tool up there? I'm going to shut it off and look at it and see where I am. Got one flat side right there. Get a little closer here. If you have any questions, ask them. I might be able to answer.
Is that,
Pardon me?
are you doing a tool in the center of that wood?
right in dead center when you're starting the cut?
I attempted to,
Okay.
on both sides.
That's the correct ways. The tool has to be centered the wood. Is that right? I don't know, some people.
Once you get turning, it'll turn down to that point anyway where.
It's going to turn down round anyway, and I really don't care if it looks off. In my case, since I've put these pen blanks together, if it's off just a little bit geometrically, it'll give it a different pattern.
Okay, I'm just talking about the tool rest. You got it centered. And with
I've got, okay, now I understand the question. What I'm doing, it's right there, see? And I'm centered. If the camera, can the camera get that?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, see how and all I'm doing is very light. I'm basically tool rest, then touching the wood. Tool rest and touching the wood. And I'm almost there. And I'm not, I got it against my body and I'm just moving that way. I think I'm pretty close. Got just a hair. I'm really worried from here to there because this side is going to get cut away anyway. It's basically just, it's going to be a holder. And also because I'm not a real fancy turner, my favorite tool is a scraper that I make. Okay, I have a left hand, I have one that I can go this way and I got one that I can go this way with. And this will assure me see, now I can go this way with this one. And I made these out of skews. Okay.
Out of what?
Skews. Old skews that I found and I just made them. And then I grind them upside down, so therefore they have a nice burr on them and they're sharp. But I grind them upside down. I've made a platform on my wheel, on my grinding wheel, so it raises it above center, and then all I have to do is go like that, and they're sharp. So that makes it easy. Okay, so now I've got this here, that's fine. Now I've got to get an attachment because I've got to chuck this. So the way my methodology of creating a tenon, I like to use a bedan and a skew. I'm using a bedan, and what that does is gives me the thickness I need that goes in my chuck, okay? So all I'm going to do on this end is make a flat spot. So now I've got a flat spot on there. And since these are dovetail jaws, I need to make a dovetail, so I'm going to use a small skew. And the reason I use a small skew, I can get it in around the chucks and whatever I need to do. And so what I'm going to do is take it like this. This will go in here, in that point, and this will go out and it'll give me that dovetail taper that I need. So when I go in, I'm just going to go in. And you can see the taper building probably on the camera on top, right? I can't tell, guys. So that gave me my dovetail I needed. Okay, now, this is something I always forget too, is a lot of times you take it off when you're, when you're doing it between centers, you get rid of your live center back here and everything else. But no, you need to use your live center, because you can use your live center to center it in the chuck so your piece is straight. And I'll demonstrate that right here. What I'm going to do is take this and put it in the chuck. I'm not tightening it down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back up in that hole I had before. Okay, now I've got it back in the same orientation it was before. Now I tighten up the chuck. Has everybody else done that? Did I explain that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm tightening this really well. Okay, because what do I have to do? I have to put a cavity in this. This is the outside of our salt shaker.
Which is the top, which is the bottom?
This is the outside of our salt shaker.
Which is the top, which is the bottom? Left or right?
This is going to be the bottom,
Okay.
because that's where I'm going to do all the
So you're
stuff.
holding on to the top. Okay.
Okay, get that out of there so I don't get it in my elbow. Okay, now, what I need to do, even though I'm going to put this hole in here, what I'm going to do is like you do with a bowl or anything else. Even though I'm going to drill this or get this hole in here, I need to face this end off and make it flat, so my salt shaker sits flat on the thing. So in that case, I'm going to use spindle gouge. I'm just going to ease off on Andy over here. See, I really don't care about this middle section because it's going to go away anyway. But if you can imagine, the salt shaker has to have a flat bottom on it. Has to have a flat bottom on this outside ring. And because I got 9 pin blanks, it's a little bit different than just one piece of wood. Because I'm hitting how many sides when I go in there? Okay, let's do one more. That'll work. Okay, yeah, that'll work. There it is. Okay, I don't normally do this, but you should. Took a skew. I'm going to use the end, the point, and I'm going to create a place. What I'm doing is creating a point where the drill bit will go in, okay? Now, that brings up the next point. Okay, now, I could hollow this out, I could use hollowing tools or whatever. I cheat. I use what's called a Jacob's chuck. Okay, now, okay. And I use a drill, bit like that, on an extension. This is my bottom. That's my outside ring. And then in here, if I could draw straight, I'd be okay. This right here is a ledge I have in there which holds my table that I'm putting in. It comes in from the bottom. So I have to make a ledge. That ledge is probably 1/8 of an inch wide and about 1/4 inch deep. Now, you could make that, you could drill with this and drill your hole, and then you could make your ledge with, you know, with some tools like this. You know, you could use use a badan or specialized tools like this which are angled and whatever, so you've got to be straight with the bed of the lathe. You can go in, so you got a straight side. It's that what we're trying to drop in, see? We got to drop that in. Maybe I get a bit different one that's got a different color. It may look better.
No, you can tell
You
good.
can see.
Here, this one looks a little bit better. Okay? Or you could use, you know, something like this. But I have found, I guess it's cheating, I've found if I use a drill that's bigger, a drill bit that's bigger, it makes my ledge. It's got straight sides and it's got a flat bottom. Now I've also found out that if I drill this hole first, in it all the way, and then I drill my ledge, I get a lot of tear out, all on the inside, which is okay, but that's where the salt is going, so salt gets stuck in there. So I found out it's better if I drill this first, because I know where I have to drill it. It's going to be in the same spot, and I'm going to drill it 1/4 inch deep. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, and what that will do is that will give me that ledge. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so I've made sure that my Jacobs Chuck M2 is seated well in here, so it's not moving, okay? I've got close. One thing I need to do, I'm going to turn the lathe on, and it's having opportunities, isn't it? I'm going to turn it to about 500 RPM. Okay? Now I've only got to go in 1/4 of an inch, because I've already got the 1/8 of an inch figured out already. And just like somebody else here, the wood is harder as a rock. Hopefully not. Hopefully I get out of here before it's done. Okay, I went in there about 1/4 of an inch. And yeah, it burned, but it's really not going to hurt anything. Hopefully I can do better with this drill bit. And you say, why are you doing this? Well, I need the length. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I want to go in about 4 inches. I want to go into about right there. I'm going to go in about 4 inches for this particular model that I'm making, I'm going to go in about 4 inches. And that 4 inches is right there for me. It's already kind of marked on the drill. Now, the one opportunity I have is the fact that if you've ever drilled and gotten a Forster bit stuck, they're a pain in the butt to get out.
So this is where it has a little wobble. Is that going to be an issue?
Inside should be well.
That's just on the outside.
Okay. Remember, you got to hold this. As long as I see shavings coming out, I feel good. And I guess I'm not blowing smoke either. I'm going to take it out a little bit. Trying to back out the shavings so they don't get jammed in there. Because now I'm going in and I've got the extension. Should be able to get it on this next trip. Come on. Okay, so I made it with that.
Now, Hansi sped that up a little bit past the 500, didn't you, when you went in with the smaller Forster?
I went to right there.
What was the speed?
500. I still remained at 500. Okay, so now I've got that in there and I got my ledge. And if I turn it on, in theory, some more stuff should come out. Okay. Now, if you're going to put this back in, which I'm not going to, you can mark the jaws of where they are, okay? And I've already screwed up. Why did I screw up? How did I screw up? No, because what's the inside of my cavity look like?
It's flat.
It's flat, and it needs to be tapered or domed. Right now, because it was a Forster bit, it's flat. Now I can use this tool. I could use this tool, or I could use this tool, and I can make that dome on the top. But I've found that I can make that dome a lot easier because it's 4 inches in by using this tool. Now, it doesn't It doesn't make the full dome, but what it does, it starts the dome, and then I can just polish it off with that. This is just an old-fashioned drill bit.
Big boy.
Right now, I am right there. That's the bottom of my hole. It's right there. Okay? And so what I want to do is I want to go in probably another, I'm going to say 3/4 of an inch off that flat where the Forester bit was, and make a dome, okay? So what I'm going to do is move this out of the way, and we'll take that, and now that's against the back of that. And I'm going to back this off just a little bit so I can check my speed. That kind of bit I can do a little bit faster, really, but I'm still going to do about 600. And so what I'm going to do, if I go to right about there, I've gone in about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. My check list. So now I've got that in there. Let's get this out of here. So what I'm going to do now, get this out of my way. What I'm going to do is my tool of choice is the, drop this down. My tool of choice, because I'm 4 inches plus another inch, I'm almost 5 inches of overhang over the tool rest. I like to use this tool. It's flat on the bottom, and if I get this out of the way, all I'm doing is sticking it in. And remember that drill, it's got a flat spot, so all I'm taking off is the kind of those corners that are in there, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so for doing that,
Show the close-up of that.
and they're heavy, it's heavy as can be. It's a Rikon. So I'm going to be real careful. What I've done is gone straight in. And I'm just getting rid of that. Now I should have a round I'm going to need that back in a little bit, but
How's the glue you used? Was that CA glue?
negative. I hate CA glue for putting projects together. CA glue for finish is fine. Putting projects together, I like CA glue sometimes, but most of the time I would rather use that.
That's tight, not bond.
That's tight bond, and this is speed set. I mean, it's all, all my scroll saw stuff, if I do it for maybe, hold it for a minute, it's set. I don't have to use clamps on it or anything else. Now, it fully cures overnight, but what I'm saying, it dries fast.
So it's like a super quick and thick.
It's the next bottle down.
Okay.
So the gray bottle is what they used to call trim and molding glue. Okay? But that's what I use. And the only negative to this is, and I don't see this salt shaker being used outside. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not water, this tight bond is not water, what do you call it, soluble or?
It is water.
Okay, now, what I've got to do is create the inside. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to turn between centers. Is it hot in here or is it just me?
That's just you.
Okay, because I'm hot. And I really don't need this big a piece, but the reason I have this big a piece is to show you, let's see. Yeah, I'll do it this way. What you can do, because as we know, the piece that's getting passed around is not finished yet, because the top has to come off, and it's got to be sanded or whatever. And a lot of us don't have chucks or something that will, fit in there, so you can make a jam chuck. So you could use the backside of this as a jam chuck. Only reason I'm thinking it's hot is because I'm fogging up over here. So anyway, so now I'm between centers again, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to round it. And in a little bit, I will need that piece back. So I've got the, okay? Because I'll need to do some measuring on it. Anytime you move the tool rest, stop the lathe. It's just a good safety. But I'm only moving it just a little bit. Yeah, but if you're making a finial or doing something fancy, you can break it off and have an opportunity. Okay, here's the geometry, is this piece when we get, shut it off, we're making this piece, we want to be the table, the top of the table, I want the top of the table about approximately between an inch and a quarter from the top of the dome, because it gives the salt enough to get down. Okay, now let me see if I can get this end. round. Almost. I have a short tool rest and a long tool rest. It's in the box, but the long one is so long that it interferes with the chuck. I'm going to do the same thing here, because I've got to get this held in the chuck. So I'm going to make another tenon. Use the bedan. Now I'm going to use my skew. This wood's a little bit softer. Okay, that looks good. Got a couple flat spots back here, but I'm not going to be going back there anyway, so it should be okay. That's what it's supposed to do, fall on the floor. I love these where they go in the chuck. I'm hoping. Come on. Hoping it'll go in this chuck. As good as I can do, I think. Okay. Let's finish making this round.
It's a smart technique doing the taper while it's on the chuck with the drive center. You don't have to do it. You can just do it by sight.
Yeah. I'm doing it by sight. What I want to do is get this rounded. Leaving the tailstock in as long as I can. To be honest with you, I only need this much rounded. You'll see why in a second. pretty much around it. Got a little bit at the end. Okay, now let's make sure I didn't screw up already. Phew, I'm still okay. I gotta have that so it fits inside of the, okay. So what I need to do